The university auditorium was packed with proud families watching their graduates receive diplomas. My brother Tyler walked across the stage in his cap and gown, shook the dean's hand and held up his business degree for our family's section to see. Mom and Dad stood up applauding loudly. And Sarah was crying. Even my grandparents were beaming from their seats. I clapped too, genuinely happy for Tyler. He'd worked hard for 4 years and earned this moment. What I wasn't happy about was what came after the ceremony. At the celebratory lunch, Dad raised his glass. To Tyler. 4 years of dedication, a degree from a prestigious university, and a job offer from Morrison and Fletcher starting Monday. Now that's setting yourself up for success. Everyone clinked glasses. Tyler grinned, soaking in the attention. Unlike some people, Mom added, glancing at me, Tyler understood the importance of education and a real career path. I was 27 years old. I dropped out of college at 19 to launch my e-commerce platform, Cloud Market. 8 years later, I had built it into something that dominated the industry. But to my family, I was the dropout who played around with websites. Sarah, you did the right thing, Aunt Sarah said to Mom. Making sure at least one of your kids got a proper education. Mom nodded. We tried with Olivia. But she insisted on this online business thing. We couldn't talk sense into her. Tyler jumped in, emboldened by the attention. Hey, maybe Liv can put her internet skills to use in marketing or something. I could probably get her an interview at Morrison and Fletcher. Entry-level social media position. The table laughed. Dad patted Tyler's shoulder proudly. That's generous of you, son, Dad said. Though I'm not sure Olivia's resume would impress them. No degree, no real experience. I have experience, I said quietly. Running a website from your apartment isn't the same as working for a real company, Dad said. But Tyler's right. Maybe he can help you get your foot in the door somewhere. It's never too late to start a real career. I took a sip of water and checked my phone under the table. An email from my VP of Operations. Tech Innovation Summit confirmed you for Keynote at 4 p.m. today. Your family's reservation is being held at the Grand Ballroom. I'd forgotten about the timing. The summit was hosting its annual conference at the hotel across the street from Tyler's graduation venue. I was scheduled to give the closing keynote speech. And several of my executive team had made reservations at this same restaurant. Earth to Olivia, Tyler said, snapping his fingers. We're talking about your future here. The least you could do is pay attention. Sorry, I said. Grandpa leaned forward. Tyler, tell us about this job. What will you be doing? Tyler launched into an explanation of his entry-level analyst position at Morrison and Fletcher, a mid-sized consulting firm. Good starting salary, benefits, room for growth. All the things that made a family proud. That's real work, Dad said. That's stability. That's how you build a life. Mom turned to me. Olivia, when are you going to give up this online store fantasy and do something legitimate? You're 27. Tyler's younger than you and he's already ahead in life. I'm doing fine, Mom. Fine. She scoffed. You live in that tiny apartment, you have no benefits, no retirement plan, no security. That's not fine. That's barely getting by. I lived in a penthouse worth $4.2 million. But I'd never told them that. Tyler's going to have health insurance, a 401k, paid vacation, Aunt Sarah added. Those are the things that matter in life. Not playing around on computers. My phone buzzed again. Text from my CFO. Q3 earnings just finalized. $890 million revenue, 40% YOY growth. You want the full report before the keynote? I typed back, send it over. Are you working right now? Mom asked, noticing my phone. During your brother's celebration lunch? Just checking something. See, this is what I mean, she said to the table. No boundaries, no professionalism. In a real job, you learn when work time is appropriate. Tyler was enjoying this. Mom's right, Liv. You should really think about the future. I mean, how long can you do this internet thing? What happens when it fails? It's not going to fail, I said. Most small businesses do, Dad said. The statistics are brutal. That's why education and corporate jobs matter. Security. A waiter approached. Excuse me, are you Olivia Chin? Everyone at the table looked up. Yes, I said. There are some people here who'd like to say hello. They said they work with you. I turned and saw 3 of my executives at a nearby table. My CFO, my VP of technology, and my chief marketing officer. They waved. Oh, I said. Yes, tell them I'll be over in a minute. The waiter left. My family stared at me. Who are they? Mom asked. Colleagues, I said. From your online business? Tyler said it like a joke. Yes. Dad frowned. You have colleagues now? I thought you worked alone. I have a team, I said simply. Before anyone could ask more, I excused myself and walked over to my executive's table. Olivia, my CFO Sandra stood up. We didn't mean to interrupt your family lunch. We're just here for the summit. I know, I said. I have the keynote at 4. My CMO David grinned. Looking forward to it. The whole industry's buzzing about Cloud Market's keynote. Everyone wants to hear the Empire speech. Don't call it that, I said. But that's what it is, my CTO Michelle said. You've built an empire. Own it. I glanced back at my family's table. They were watching, confused. Is that your brother's graduation? Sandra asked, following my gaze. Yes. Just finished. Congratulations to him, she said. Then more quietly, they still don't know, do they? No. Olivia, David said carefully, the keynote is in 3 hours. At a summit attended by every major player in e-commerce. Your family's going to find out. I know. And you're okay with that? I thought about Mom's comments. Tyler's condescension. Dad's disappointment. 8 years of being dismissed, overlooked, treated like a failure. Yeah, I said. I'm okay with that. I returned to my family's table. They had questions. Who were those people? Mom asked immediately. I told you. Colleagues. They seemed very professional, Aunt Sarah said. Are they with a company you're trying to sell to? Something like that, I said. Tyler looked suspicious. What exactly do you do, Liv? You always say e-commerce, but you never explain. I run an online marketplace platform, I said. Cloud Market. Never heard of it, Dad said. Lots of people use it, I said mildly. For what? Buying and selling goods. It's a platform that connects sellers with buyers across multiple categories. Tyler pulled out his phone. Cloud Market? Let me look it up. He typed, scrolled, his eyes widening slightly. Wait, this Cloud Market has millions of users? About 47 million active users currently, I said. The table went quiet. That can't be the same one, Mom said. Olivia's is small. A little website. Tyler kept scrolling. This one's a major platform. It says here it's valued at, holy shit, $6.2 billion. Tyler, language, Grandma said automatically. But everyone was staring at me now. Is that your company? Dad asked. The one worth $6 billion? The valuation from our Series E was $6.2 billion, yes. Though after this quarter's earnings, we expect it to be closer to $8 billion. Dead silence. You're joking, Mom said. This is some kind of joke. It's not a joke. Tyler was frantically reading. It says the founder and CEO is Olivia Chen. How many Olivia Chens can there be in e-commerce? Just me as far as I know, I said. But this says Cloud Market has 1,800 employees and operates in 23 countries. 24 now, I corrected. We just launched in Vietnam last month. Dad grabbed Tyler's phone. Read the screen. Looked at me. This is you. You built this. Yes. But we've been giving you career advice, Mom said weakly. We've been worried about you not having a real job. I know. You let us think you were struggling, Aunt Sarah said. I never said I was struggling. You assumed. Tyler was still on his phone. There are articles about you. TechCrunch, Forbes, Business Insider. You were featured in Fortune's 40 Under 40 last year. Yes, I said. You spoke at the World Economic Forum. 2 years ago. Dad set down the phone, his hands shaking slightly. Why didn't you tell us? I tried. Many times. Last Thanksgiving I mentioned our Series D funding. You asked when I was going to get health insurance through a real employer. Christmas I told you we'd hit 40 million users. You said that was nice and changed the subject to Tyler's internship. Mom's face was red. But we didn't understand what that meant. You should have explained better. How much clearer could I be? I told you I was building a successful company. You decided it wasn't legitimate because it wasn't what you understood. My phone buzzed. Text from the summit organizer. Olivia, just confirming your keynote at 4 p.m. We have 3,000 attendees registered. This is our biggest turnout ever. I checked the time. 2:47 p.m. I need to go, I said, standing up. Go where? Mom asked. I have a speaking engagement. Right now. During Tyler's celebration. The celebration's been over for 20 minutes, Mom. And yes, now. Tyler spoke up. What kind of speaking engagement? The Tech Innovation Summit. I'm giving the closing keynote. Dad stood up. The summit at the Grand Hotel? The one all over the news. Yes. You're speaking there? I'm the keynote speaker. Grandpa, who'd been quiet this whole time, suddenly laughed. Well, I'll be damned. Sarah, we've been sitting here feeling sorry for the girl who actually needs the least sorry of anyone at this table. Dad, Mom protested. No, he's right, Tyler said quietly. He looked at me with something like awe. Liv, you're really successful, aren't you? Yes, Tyler. I really am. Mom grabbed my arm as I moved to leave. Can we come? To your speech. I looked at her. At all of them. The summit's invitation only. But I have a reserved table for family that no one's using. You can have those seats. We'll be there, Dad said immediately. The Grand Hotel ballroom was packed when I arrived. 3,000 technology leaders, investors, entrepreneurs, and journalists filled the space. The energy was electric. Backstage, the summit organizer briefed me. Olivia, we're thrilled to have you closing the event. Your session on Building Tomorrow's Marketplace is our most anticipated talk of the summit. Happy to be here, I said. We have several press outlets wanting interviews afterward. And at least 2 venture capital firms hoping to speak with you. Schedule them through my assistant, I said. I peeked through the curtain at the audience. Near the back, I spotted my family filing into the reserved section. Mom looked overwhelmed by the crowd. Tyler kept looking around with wide eyes. Dad was reading the program, probably seeing my bio for the first time. The introduction began. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce our closing keynote speaker. At just 19, she dropped out of college to pursue a vision that everyone told her was impossible. 8 years later, she's built Cloud Market into the fastest-growing e-commerce platform in the world, serving 47 million users across 24 countries. I could see my family's faces from backstage. The realization. She's been featured in Fortune, Forbes, and TechCrunch. She's spoken at Davos, led industry panels, and pioneered marketplace technology that's now the industry standard. At 27, she's one of the youngest self-made entrepreneurs in the world. Please welcome Cloud Market founder and CEO Olivia Chin. The applause was thunderous as I walked on stage. 3,000 people standing, clapping. My family in the back, slowly rising to their feet with everyone else. I took the microphone, waited for the crowd to settle. Thank you. 8 years ago, I had an idea that everyone said wouldn't work. Too ambitious, too risky, too impossible for a college dropout with no funding and no connections. I clicked to the first slide, Cloud Market's growth trajectory. They were wrong. Not because I was smarter than everyone else, but because I understood something they didn't. The future of commerce isn't in gatekeeping. It's in connection. For 45 minutes, I laid out Cloud Market's journey, our technology, our vision for the future. I talked about the challenges, the breakthroughs, the innovations that changed everything. The audience was captivated. People took notes. Cameras flashed. I could see investors leaning forward, competitors analyzing every word. And in the back, my family sat frozen, finally understanding what I'd been building while they worried about my lack of a degree. I closed with our future roadmap, AI integration, blockchain verification, global expansion into 15 new markets. The future of commerce is being built right now, I said. By people who see possibilities instead of limitations. By entrepreneurs who trust their vision even when everyone else doubts. By teams who believe that the impossible is just the next challenge to solve. The applause was overwhelming. A standing ovation that lasted minutes. Backstage afterward, journalists lined up for interviews. But first I saw my family pushing through the crowd toward me. Mom reached me first. Her eyes were red. Olivia, we had no idea. I know, I said. Dad was shaking his head. That speech. The things you've built. How did we miss this? You were too busy telling me I'd failed by dropping out of college. Tyler stood there looking lost. Liv, I offered you an entry-level job. I was trying to help you. And you're running a company worth billions. I know what you were trying to do, Tyler. Your company employs 1,800 people, he said. I'm starting an entry-level analyst position Monday. And that's good, Tyler. That's a legitimate career path. Just like mine is. Mom grabbed my hands. We were so wrong about you. About everything. Yes, I agreed. You were. Can you forgive us? She asked. I looked at my family, at the people who'd spent 8 years dismissing my work, my choices, my success. Who'd only now, seeing external validation from thousands of strangers, finally believed I was worth something. I don't know yet, I said honestly. You didn't just doubt my business, Mom. You doubted me. You made me feel like a failure for 8 years while I was building something extraordinary. We didn't mean to. But you did. And the only thing that changed your mind was seeing 3,000 people give me a standing ovation. Not because I told you about my success. Not because you were curious enough to really look at what I was doing. But because strangers validated me first. Dad looked stricken. You're right. We failed you as parents. You did, I said. But I succeeded anyway. Without your support, without your belief, without your approval. I built Cloud Market because I believed in it. Not because I needed you to. Tyler spoke quietly. What do we do now? That's up to you, I said. I have a life I built. A company I run. Success that's real whether you acknowledge it or not. The question is whether you can respect that. Really respect it. Not just now that it's public and impressive, but going forward when I make decisions you don't understand. We can, Mom said quickly. We will. We'll see, I said. An investor approached, wanting to discuss partnership opportunities. I turned to my family. I have meetings scheduled for the next 2 hours. We can talk later if you want. Really talk. But right now I have work to do. I walked away, leaving them standing there with their new understanding of who I actually was. Later that evening, after the meetings, after the press interviews, after the congratulations from industry leaders, I sat alone in my penthouse looking out at the city. My phone buzzed. Text from Tyler. I'm sorry, Liv. For everything. You were right. I never really asked what you did. I just assumed. Can we start over? Then Mom, I watched your whole speech on the live stream again. You were incredible. I'm so proud of you. I'm so sorry it took this for me to see it. Dad, your mother and I want to take you to dinner. No talk about degrees or careers. Just us wanting to know our daughter better. Will you come? I stared at the messages for a long time. Finally I typed, dinner next week. But things have to be different. Mom replied immediately, they will be. I promise. I set down my phone and smiled. Maybe they would be different. Maybe they wouldn't. But either way I'd already built everything I needed. With or without them. And that was enough.